Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back everyone. It's Mr. Kamal Tahi speaking. You are welcome and nice to meet you again. We still talk about this amazing kingdom, the plant kingdom. We have a lot of the different kinds of lovely plants in this amazing kingdom. Today we'll talk about another kind of plants. But at the beginning we should understand how the plant can reproduce, how the plant make another plants. Okay, now at the beginning guys, the plant have two groups. Okay, now the plant, two very big groups. We have seedling plants or seed plants, I mean plant with seeds. Okay, in other hand we have a plant without seeds. Okay, now when we talk about the plant with seeds, I'm talking about apple, tomato, cucumber. A lot of plants have seeds and will grow by seeds. And another plant without seeds, that's called seedless. Okay, it means seedless. Now some ways about the plant make another plant by spores, by using something called spores. Okay, and we have another ways we will take in another time inshallah. Another ways like by stem, by roots, by leaves. We have another ways to make a reproduce. But today we will focus on the spores. What are the spores and what about the plants have spores and how these plants with the spores can live and can make another plants and like that. Okay, let's come back for the book to understand this part. Okay guys, now of course if you look over for in this picture behind, as you see here, we have a lot of plants. And these plants will be very close from the ground and it will fill all of the place as you see here, and we spoke about that before if you remember. Okay, and we said that we have this plant will grow behind the ground, very close from the ground. Okay, and that is called mosses, if you remember. Yes, that's called mosses. Okay, now mosses plants, it will be very short plants, don't have roots, stem and leaves, and also don't have seeds. Yeah, don't have seeds. And but how this plant can absorb the water? As I told you before also, this plant can absorb the water directly from the ground or from the soil, because this plant is very short, it will absorb the water like sponge. And I said that before. And this plant also doesn't have seeds. Not just mosses. We have another plant, this plant called ferns. This plant called ferns. Yeah, this also doesn't have seeds. It will reproduce by spores. What are the spores? Spores, it will be very small cells inside or in the underside of the leaves to grow and make another plant. Now the plant without seeds use spores to make a new plants. Okay, what are the shape of spores? And let's talk more about spores and about the cycle of the plant doesn't have seeds. As you see here from the picture, that is the lower side of the leaf, not upper side. Now this is the leaf. Okay, I will change the color. Yeah, that's the leaves, and that is the upper side of the leaves, and that is the downside of the leaves or the underside of the leaves. Okay, now all of these spore cases, it will be in the lower part, no in the upper part. Okay, it will be in the lower part of the leaves, and that is the fern, that is the fern plants. Okay, now as you see here guys, that's not spores, no, that's something called spore cases. Okay, spore cases. What are the spore cases? Spore cases like your bag. If you have a book and this book is very important for you and you don't want to lose it, you will put inside the bag, and you will put the bag inside very safe place to save your things, right? The same thing will happen with spores. Now the spores will be saved inside these spore cases. The spore cases will cover and will protect the spores inside from too much heat and from too much too little water, okay, because that the spores, it will be inside the spore cases every time, okay, to protect the spores inside it. But in fact the spores will be very small, too small, and because that it will be inside the spore cases protect the spores inside it, and the spores or spore cases, it will be in the under side of the leaves, not in the upper side. Okay, now what will happen with the spore cases when we have a lot of spores inside it? Now when we have a lot of spores inside it, now the spore cases open, exploded, and get out all the spores outside on the air, and it will fly, and after that it will land on the soil. If the soil have a lot of water or moist soil, it will let this spore to grow and make another fern like that. Okay, like that, to make another fern. Now it's still small, and it will become bigger and bigger and bigger, and make an adult one, like that, very big one. Okay, that in another fern, adult fern. Okay, like that, guys. We have a lot of leaves of fern, and like that. Now when the fern be adult, it will make another spore cases, and inside the spore cases we have a lot of spores inside, and the spores, when the spore cases have a lot of spores inside it, it will open and explode it and get out all of the spores on the air, and it will land again on the soil when the soil have a lot of water, and let the plant of ferns to grow up again. It will make another spore cases open and make a spore and get out spores, and like that and like that. That is the cycle of the fern, the simple cycle. Of course we will talk about more about that in the ferns cycle, but in general, that is the way to let the plant grow again and make another fern, and like that. The same thing will happen with the mosses. The mosses will have also spore cases and have spores inside it, and it will make the same thing to grow and make another mosses, and like that, guys. At the end, I hope you understand this session. Today we talked about the plant will reduce or make another plants by using spores. In another session, inshallah, we will talk about the seeds and how the plant use seeds to make another plants. If you have any questions, write down on the comments or on the WhatsApp, and see you next sessions, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Goodbye.